Congressman Thaddeus McCotter. Actually, it's a plan to save Social Security. Am I right, Congressman?
You're right, John. It's actual legislation. It's in the hopper. Filed it yesterday.
Well, explain it to me, because the way it looks on paper, it's pretty darn simple, and something that simple somehow becomes the biggest spending cut in government history. How does that happen?
Well, it happens because I started from the premise that the majority of people didn't want privatization. They don't want to see benefits reduced. They don't want to see the payroll tax increased or the age hiked. So if you know what nobody wants, you have to try to find out a way to get something done. And when you look at it, the way you can do it is through personal investment accounts within the system, whereby people 50 and under can receive part of their benefits earlier and then accrue over time in what are similar to the TSPs that people in Washington get. It would reduce the long-term liability on the system. Now, critically, John, it does not divert the payroll tax, which I oppose, which is privatization. Instead, it relies on reductions in government spending over a period of time to fund those accounts, and in which case you're not only saving money from the reforms that you put into existing government programs, that's where you constitute the greatest savings to taxpayers in history within the system itself.
Well, now, here's one problem, and I think you've solved it. When we talk about certain bills that are right in front of Congress right now and some that are coming, we talk about, well, we'll do this now and we'll do these things later. So these things will be named later, and we don't really have any idea what they are, but they will happen. And on that, we have gone $15 trillion in debt. This becomes law. Are the cuts also part of the law? In other words, is there a way that a future Congress down the road, not that this would happen, of course, but maybe 20 years from now, try to weasel out of this?
The fund cannot be funded in any other way by borrowing or spending. It has to be funded through reductions in existing government spending. And this is crucial. Look, as a Republican, I think as an American, we understand that the federal government spends money in wasteful fashions many times, and that doesn't help the recipients, especially the underserved. And as we saw from welfare reform, allowing states more control not only saves money, it maximizes the impact upon the person you're trying to help. And now when you combine that, John, with Social Security, you would not only see an improvement in terms of taxpayers' bang for the buck, you would see an improvement in how people who are underserved receive their benefits, as well as an increase in their benefits, because, as you know, everybody under Social Security receives supplemental assistance.
Now, explain again, if you would please, just exactly how it works. What will I see if I'm a Social Security recipient now, or I'm on disability, Social Security disability right now? What's going to happen? Are you going to take away my benefits with this thing, or
no change, because the payroll tax is untouched. As you know, money that goes in is then spent every month. It goes in a month, it goes out a month, that month. So no, that's precisely why so many people had problems with privatization and the diversion of the payroll tax into private accounts. We wanted to specifically avoid that problem for precisely the reasons you bring up.
And this will result in the largest spending cut in government history.
Yes, it's a reduction, and the beauty of it is that not only do you have that, you would also receive better benefits. Now, I want to be clear. Under this proposal, you are within the system, but you do not have to choose this option. You can stay within the system as it currently operates.
Well, who in the world would oppose such a thing?
Well, I'm hoping to get bipartisan support for it, because, again, I've laid out what it isn't, which you can't get consensus to do any of those, thankfully. And so I'm more than happy to work with anybody from this bill to get it done. And I would think that the score by the chief actuary of Social Security, which says it's a good deal, your benefits are guaranteed if you don't go, if it doesn't work, and he says that he expects 100% participation by people 50 and under to start these accounts because of the actual benefits they would receive over time.
And these accounts are in the system. This isn't something outside that Merrill Lynch or our buddies on Wall Street, they can't get involved with it.
No, as you know, what will happen is they'll be put into accounts, be managed by the system. There'll be competing plans available, and individuals can choose which ones they put them in. So the aspect of this, it ties in with the move in the future towards more self-control, more decision-making by the individual, which is happening in every other aspect of our lives.
So when is this largest spending cut in the history of our government and the fix for the Social Security plan going to be blasted all over the major media? This sounds like great news to me.
Well, unfortunately, John, they were all focused on the Ponzi question, which means they were more concerned about the horse race and what people called a system that's non-sustainable by all accounts, partisan, Republican, Democrat, instead of looking at a policy solution. So you would hear more about the problem than you would ever hear about the solution, which is very frustrating. I'm looking at the Washington, D.C. papers. There's no mention of it except for one picture of me, which I'd have done without. And so they don't seem to be focused on the solutions. This goes back to one of my little concerns with the process itself, not only legislatively but electorally, is that you have a system that is basically Kafkaesque. You have the media complaining there are no solutions, and when you put them forward, they don't cover them.
Well, let's hope we can change that, and we'll see if we can get some pressure on from this end. The more people that we have knowing about it, the better the chance of success, I would assume.
Yes, and it's something that I think over time, whether it's today or tomorrow or next year or 2 years, I think it's going to become clear to people that this is the best way to go in terms of crafting a solution that will accommodate and work for everybody.
Keep us posted on how it goes, will you?
I will, John. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Congressman Thaddeus McCotter, who has a plan to save Social Security and actually improve it and also cut spending. Sounds too good to be true, but it isn't, because I've looked at it. And so have the people who score these kinds of things. And we'll just see what happens. All right, coming up.